But what's pretty clear is if you were looking for one culprit out of the many, many, many culprits, you'd have to point your finger at the rating agencies, because as subprime mortgages started getting produced, they got packaged in securities called CDOs, and the strips, as you know, of the CDOs were rated from AAA down to much lower ratings. And if the AAA piece, which has turned out to not even be close to AAA, was originally rated BB, there would be no subprime mortgage crisis, because nobody ever would have bought the paper. And if nobody would have bought the paper, you could not have had the enormous amount of product, which was not only sold in the United States, but because it was rated AAA, that product was sold around the world. And different institutions have different rules of how they deal with AAA paper, what reserves they put up against it. You know, some firms almost forgot they owned the stuff because there was no risk of default. And once you bought into that issue of you know, AAA for that paper, when it turned out to be paper that was in many situations going to end up defaulting, causing immense loss, then you really had the makings of a global problem, because it was sold all over the world. People who are not in the financial business would probably be surprised to know how people in the financial business regard the term AAA. In my memory, and I started in finance in 1969, I know that's hard to believe, but that's true. I don't know of any AAA security that ever defaulted. That's why they're AAA. And so AAA has sort of almost a religious connotation in finance. If you call it a AAA, you don't have to analyze it. That's why it's a AAA. And so the reason that we got into this trouble is that people were selling these securities because they were AAA. They didn't analyze them very much because they were AAA. They never could default. And people who bought them didn't either because they were AAA. If they were AA, they would have analyzed them. If they were single A, they'd be all over them. If they were BBB, they'd be all exercised, and if they were BB, they wouldn't buy them. But AAA, you just never, ever, ever thought about the credit goodness of it, and that's globally. And so that's why that all occurred, and that's why the rating agency is a problem. They put the ultimate good housekeeping seal of approval, and there are special, you know, sort of value at risk rules where you don't have to count AAAs for, you know, on risk models and other types of things. And so the whole system was based on AAAs never defaulting. And until this one little period here, they never did.